I was working at a large tech firm, and
Fupa on set. I shouldn't. Oh, it was a TikTok. I'm so sorry.
oh, all right then.
It's about our videos.
But you want to watch TikTok right now?
No, I'm muting my phone.
It's about our video. Oh, well, all right.
Somebody likes it.
I have our corporate account built. But anyway, so what was I saying?
Don't forget to check us out on TikTok.
Welcome back. Welcome back to episode 4 of the podcast.
Of the Film Insiders podcast.
Yeah, buddy.
Brought to you live in the... No, not live. The Black Friday studio.
I wish I need
The
to
live
be,
audience.
I know I need to be more professional. Like, you're listening to the Film Insiders podcast.
Episode 4. Today's topics.
Why did I just sound like
hand grenades and horseshoes?
who's the guy that plays Sulu?
George Takei.
George Takei. Why did I just sound like George Takei? You're listening to. Anyway, that was less George Takei, but
Episode 4.
Episode 4. Here we are.
I think I introduced myself first last time, so this is your turn.
Okay. My name is Glenn Pena. I am a sometime actor, a dad, not a full-time dad because my kids don't live in my house anymore. And I now have a corporate job. I used to work in the film business, film and TV. And I love talking about movies, watch almost everything you can think of. And here I am.
Nice.
What about you?
Nice to meet you, Glenn. I am Samuel Hahn. I am a film director, producer, writer, sometimes camera operator, dad, a veteran. I love movies. I do like talking about them too. I love making them. And yeah, I've been digging working on this podcast with you. And now we're up to, as of this date, this recording,
34 subscribers?
34 subscribers.
You know who you are.
And you guys are awesome.
Great success. No, but yeah, we've been very happy to see how some things have taken off. You know, some good things have happened, right? Like our last episode didn't get as many views as we would have liked, but the shorts that we produced went in kind of nuts.
Well, I think we're kind of
and we're fixing to have a presence on TikTok. And TikTok.
Are we doing the
say
other
that
channels?
like I'm 400 years old, huh?
Tell my grandpa.
We're going to be on the TikTok.
And the Insta something. So we're going to do that too, for the Facebook, Instagram, or?
Yeah, we are going to be doing shorts on Instagram. We're doing a little at a time. So we didn't want to try to boil the ocean
Slow and steady wins
right
the
out
race,
of the
man.
gate. Yeah.
Tortoise in the hair, bud. Tortoise in the hair.
Yeah. So we're just, we just want to get a little better every time, see how it goes. My light's not on. We're gonna fix that.
I made that happen. I was like, my editing,
I love how you plugged your hair light in.
and my editing power. Yeah, because I'm on this side of the room.
Yeah, you handled your business.
Oh man, I gotta.
I appreciate that. I do.
So,
I do. So we're going to start the show talking about how we got involved in our first production experience, working on a set, on a film. So why don't you start? You tell your story.
Okay.
And go.
And go. Scene begins.
No pressure.
No pressure. Okay, so my first full feature was a movie called Patient Zero Biohazard. I think, unless they switched to like Biohazard, Patient Zero. I forgot how it's titled up. I can pull it up, but that was my first full run, like a full, I think it was like a 3-week schedule. But before then, on sets, I had been like a behind-the-scenes photographer. I was just kind of like cracking getting into that, you know, like learning people, networking, getting into the, like, and when the Patient Zero came about, because I was doing these short films called Patient Zero.
Right.
And we were out at this haunted house, Terra Nights in Tyler, Texas. And we had this warehouse and these sets to shoot in. So we were just, you know, we shot a lot of stuff out there, and I wanted to do the short. So it was zombie. But I'd done these shorts, and it kind of caught some attention. And then a friend of mine at the time, back then at that time, he had seen him, and he was inspired, and he was this director, producer, and he was like, hey, let's make that into a feature. And what I should have said is like, okay, great, I'll direct that. But he's like, you know, you can be the lead actor or you can be the director of photography. Because at that time, you know, I'm directing my own stuff, but I'm shooting a lot of my own stuff. And that's really how I kind of like created my style as a director. I'm very camera heavy, very photography heavy, because I did a lot of it myself. And so here's this movie, or this short that I did, two of them. There's a part one and a part two. Part one's about the initial part of the outbreak, and then part two is just like the violence and the chaos, and it's a lot of fun, and I'll roll a clip.
Got the daily report? Do you have the video log?
And then another one. Yeah, that was just, it was like 3 weeks of just madness, man. I do remember, like,
I've actually been to Pittsburgh, Texas.
it's the one with the, I mean, the chicken plant.
There's a college out there too.
What's the chicken plant?
Oh, Tyson?
No.
I don't know. Why are we doing an ad for him now?
No, they have a chicken plant out there. So that was like the big thing about Pittsburgh, Texas, I believe. Like, they have the chicken plant.
Ooh, speaking of which, is that where they shot Napoleon Dynamite then? Where there was a chicken plant in that movie? Like,
Was that in Texas?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they were from Waco. So, oh, you want to test me?
I really don't know. I mean, I'm just rolling with you on this.
I'm not certain. I think so.
Oh, $5 it is. But and it was just an experience, man. I mean, not a lot of money, cool little horror film. I think the best days came out of it when the director would get frustrated a few times, and I'm like, so I'm the director of photography, right? I got my girlfriend on that, and then he would get so flustered because he's trying to make this action zombie thing that he would be like, Sam, you've got the wheel, and he would walk off, like, you know, you got the helm, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I'm directing now? And I had to do it a few times, and there was a big scene where there's this big fight, like in one of the laboratory rooms in the science facility, and there's like zombies attacking, and she's smashing with a propane tank, and he's fighting this, and there's zombies.
It's all
coming over.
choreographed.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm winging it. Like, we didn't have a choreographer. Like, I'm figuring it out, and like, it was really cool. Like, it's probably one of the better parts of the movie, right? Because the action's like
Because you
legit.
did it.
And then there's this other scene where the husband and the wife, Brandon Slagle is the lead actor, and then I believe her name was Amanda Phillips,
Yeah.
and she was the lead actress. But I ended up directing the car scene, and when we were doing dailies, man, I was there with the crew. I think he watched dailies with the crew sometimes, but I was there for that one. Everybody's kind of like leaning in, watching the shots.
Yeah.
And then it would go back to what, you know, when somebody else resumed the helm. Like, so
Nice.
I think that kind of bugged the person though. So when I would get done and I would like just kick some ass on a scene directing it, which was my first time really to direct on a feature set.
Yeah.
By proxy of like, hey, take it over.
So this guy was interesting. Was like a character a little bit.
With a director?
Well, yeah, just walking away from the set. Like,
yeah, and then throwing it off on me, and then I step in and, kick some ass.
Uh-huh.
And I guess that would hit his ego. And then he would, I got this back in the game. I get back on my camera and I'm like,
who paid for it? We don't need to talk about how much the budget was, but
the late Bruce Kahn.
Okay.
I almost worked.
So it wasn't the guy that was making it.
No, it was just like a private, the equity.
Got you.
The word.
Yeah. Equity investor.
And then I almost worked with that dude. I think it was like 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And we almost had a deal going with it. It would have been a bunk deal. He was offering like a flat cut to direct, and that was it. And then I reached out and never heard anything. And then months later, some friend of his Facebooked me. He's like, "Oh, he passed away."
Oh.
And I'm like, "Okay, well,
That's sad.
that sucks." But
Well, so what came of this movie?
oh, it's fantastic.
Can I rent it on Amazon if I want to watch it?
Maybe. I mean, I have a hard copy. I mean, I'm sure you can YouTube it as well. But no, I'm kidding. It's got to be out there.
You're terrible, man.
It's got to be out there. And look, I'll tell you what.
Huh.
What'll be really fun is let's just go ahead and show our wonderful audience the trailer for it.
Okay.
20 years I worked down there at that lab. I know things.
What did you do?
They don't want to know what's really going on.
How about telling me the truth, John? What are you not telling me?
I can't reverse the lockdown.
It just ain't right what they're doing down there.
What are they doing, Marvin?
You don't want to know. They're doing things to people.
I mean, dude, it was a fun film. And for me, it was really a chance just to crack my knuckles and be in that environment for like the 3 weeks straight that we were in and to finally have that experience. And then after that, it was full-length film after full-length film. So I cannot ever throw away the time on there. I mean, working with Eric Meisner, MJ, I met Michael Paul Brown out there and several other cats, man. I met a lot of good dudes. Frederick Doss worked on that film.
Oh, okay.
He was a first AD, and then he played a tactical team. And that's when I met Van Quattro, the actor. He had a part on Fight Club.
Okay.
And some other films.
Oh, wow.
Brilliant dude, man. Texas-based actor. So
Very cool. What was that movie Fred was in that he starred in?
Humans versus Zombies.
Is that it?
By the same director.
Top science. Aggression, hunger. They released information saying
I thought he was fantastic. I don't know, personally. What are you trying to do?
I bumped the microphone with my drink. I'm sorry, microphone. My glass is touching you inappropriately.
Be nice to the Black Friday studio. Come on.
Black Friday studio.
Anyway.
Humans versus Zombies, though. And he was good, dude. He played a little bit of an over-top character, but it played to that character into that film.
I loved it. He was channeling his inner Bruce Campbell.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Madison. Oh, I can't remember half the cast. I mean, they're a bunch of cool people. Melissa Carnell, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've had a lot of fun learning about some of the stuff you've been working on.
Sorry.
So no, you're fine. So my story Goes back way back.
To the dime of the diner.
Way back to 1991.
And shit.
No, it was probably close to that, actually. It wasn't 91. It was before then. I worked on a movie called A Matter of Honor. And you can insert a clip if you want.
Like right now?
I mean, yeah, why not? So I was on that movie working behind the camera as a grip. And I don't remember what I can't remember how I got credited. I think I was the key grip by the end of it. No. I was best boy. I was best boy grip.
On your first film?
Well,
My God, that's a hell of a step up, dude. That's cool. No, congratulations on it. I mean, you could start off as like
was
a
not, no, it
but you
wasn't.
could be a PA or like introductory grip.
Well, but the thing is they were using a bunch of students on the cheap
The guy that goes
to
snipe
make the
hunting.
movie, right? The guy, it's a long story, but the guy that made the movie,
Nothing but time here.
the guy that made the movie, we were all his students. So we got to work on the movie with him, right? He did this on a couple of movies. But this movie was my first experience. Anyway, so I'm working as a grip, and we had a blast. I had a great time working on that movie. It's watchable, sort of. It's not the greatest. You can rent it on Amazon. It's not the greatest movie. I'm just being honest. But I had a lot of fun making it. And the other thing was, I'm on the DVD cover.
Sorry.
It's crazy. There's a day where we're shooting all the rugby scenes, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of the extras didn't show up. The rugby players, apparently they were partying the night before or something. A bunch of people didn't show up.
Like when you have extras or background like that, you take like whatever number you have and then just whittle it down to like a third of that.
Yeah.
And that's what you should expect.
Yeah. So, but in this case, we really needed rugby players. And
Like legit background.
I looked like a rugby player. I mean, I had played rugby a little bit. So,
Oh, okay.
So, you know, they were like, well, they asked the crew, hey, who can dress up in rugby outfits and be rugby players? So I was like, I'll do it.
And not look like a dope in the process.
Yeah. So, and I'm wearing my rugby shirt and playing and stuff. And then I do not know how this happened. I do not know the whole story about how this happened, but there was a still photographer there that day taking photos of people while we're shooting. And we shoot this scene that's like the finale of the movie, or like late, you know, where we win the big game and everybody's cheering and everybody's arms are up and stuff. And anyway, I'm joining in with everybody else, crowded, you know, as a member of the team for that scene.
Right.
And so I don't know exactly what happened, but me and the main character, the actor who played the main character, David Mitchie, great guy, really good actor. He's actually gone on and done a lot of stuff. Poor guy. He was not on the DVD cover because apparently I was a lot more brown. I'm pretty pale right now because I haven't been in the sun as often as I would like to.
Okay.
But, you know, we're both kind of from the same part of the world,
Okay.
you know,
All right.
culturally, and, Hispanic, right? Or sort of, you know, have that look to us. And
Was the photographer like a white guy?
I don't know, man. They just thought that I was David Mitchie, and they took a still of me.
That's so messed up though.
And it
because-
got approved to be on the cover
But
of
somehow that got through the process for you to be approved. Like, unless the distribution company just got the stills, like the deliverable stills, you know?
Yeah.
Because you had to supply like a certain number for them for like marketing. Unless it got to them and they just ran with it and ixed out the production company and the director for them not to see that stuff.
I don't have the slightest idea how
they
it
just
went
accepted
down,
it, you know?
but we didn't look exactly alike, but it was close enough that somebody got confused, and I ended up on the DVD cover. And then the way this was discovered was I was working in my corporate life. I was working at a large tech firm. And
Fupa on set. I should. Oh, it was a TikTok. I'm so sorry.
Oh, all right then.
It's about our videos.
Well, you want to watch TikTok right now?
No, I'm muting my phone.
It's about our video. Oh, well, all
Well,
right.
somebody likes it.
I have our corporate account built. But anyway, so what was I saying?
Don't forget to check us out on TikTok.
So
You're at your corporate job.
Yeah. So I'm at my corporate job,
And you're on the-
we're talking about things like everybody's kind of talking about things they've done, blah blah blah. And somebody says, "Hey, Glenn, I heard you worked in movies." Yeah. Well, what movies have you been in? I said, "Well, I worked on this movie called A Matter of Honor. I think you can see it on Amazon. You can rent it or something." And then it just went from there. They just ran with it, and I was the biggest mistake, man, telling them this because. Some of the guys went and found the movie, and then they realized I was on the DVD cover, and that's when I figured it out. I was like, "Oh crap, I'm on the DVD cover." What?
Like, how long had it been since that,
Like
from the release to that point?
maybe 7 or 8 years.
Like, you didn't know?
No.
Your face is like,
It was just something I worked on.
your face is
'Cause
gracing the shells.
I worked so much during this 2-year period. I did a bunch of stuff.
Oh, yeah, fair.
And I just didn't really think about like the first thing I did. I didn't go back and watch anything. I just worked on
Yeah,
stuff.
that's fair.
And so that's when I realized, I was like, "Oh crap!" Next thing I know, all these reviews start blowing up on the Amazon page for the movie, and it's my friends, and they're submitting all these fake reviews talking about how Glenn Pena is the greatest actor of our generation.
And he saved the film. And
It was so silly and ridiculous, but it was funny.
And unfortunately, they're not still on there.
No,
We did
yeah,
some- we did some digging
We
around.
actually looked, and I guess Amazon
It
removed
would have been
them.
glorious.
Somebody removed them.
Somebody, some jerk.
I'm sure the owner of the film had them removed,
Like, why would you get rid of glowing compliments?
but they can't change the poster art. I'm on there forever.
Forever.
It's so bad.
I tell you what, if we can find that poster art.
Oh, it's there. It's on Amazon.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Oh no. Hey, you can see me when I was young. So, but yeah, that was my first experience, and I actually worked on different sets. I worked a lot on television commercials, quite a bit, which was cool. That was fun.
What did you want to be? I mean, you said you gripped a lot, but like, what was your that end goal, desire, dream back then?
You know, honestly, what I really wanted to be was an actor.
Really?
And I was good enough, I think. Like I had agents interested in me at one point when I was just graduating high school. You know, but I just never, I don't know. I think I just wanted to, well, I joined the Marine Corps. So I went off to boot camp. And then when I came back, I was focused on going to school because that's what my parents were like, you will go to school. And I thought, well, what are you going to study in school? And I didn't want to study acting.
Yeah.
Because
No, it's smart. I mean, you got to have something else to back it up with that.
but I studied film in college at UNT.
I think acting would have been fun.
Well, it would have. I mean,
I think the thing that gets me is just the consistency. Like, I tried acting in a short film a couple of years ago now that my buddy Van Quattro, the one that I talked about earlier, was directing. And like, I mean, it was fun, but at the same time too, like the two factors for me, one, I knew that I'd have to be consistent throughout the scenes, doing the same basic actions. That way the continuity would hit. And that's like the mind of that filmmaker. So then I'm stressing out over that. But then I've been directing so long that when I'm trying to step into being an actor, my mind's over like, what's the composition? What's the arc of this? What's the point? What's the theme? What's this, like the shapes? And so it was hard for me to like, dive into that as the person, that character.
I think the cool thing about acting on camera, when you've been behind the camera or you've studied that subject and you really understand it, I think the cool thing about that is you kind of have a sense of what's happening, so you're not totally lost, and you can do things that you know are going to help the director. Like if you know what the shot list looks like.
Right. You can play to it.
And that's what I think a good actor does too, is capable of doing is not just, oh, do this, and then the actor just does it. The
Well,
actor's thinking about like the difference between what their close up's going to look like, and what a wide shot's going to look like, or a 2-shot.
Right. It's like a self-awareness.
Yeah. What's different about shooting digital now versus film is shooting ratios are so different. And what I mean by shot ratios is in the old days when you were shooting on film is expensive.
Yeah, but time's expensive.
Well, yeah, time's expensive, but film is more expensive.
Right.
And so what I was going to say was your shooting ratio on a small budget that you're going to shoot for is 3-to-1. You're going to do 3 shots, 3 takes for every shot you're going to use, right? Nowadays, you can just be completely overindulgent and use as much as you want. It doesn't matter because storage is ethereal. You'll never run out of it.
But to a degree, in my opinion on that, because the counter to that, yes, you could run digitally until that hard drive just pops, gives up the ghost, or you filled it out or whatever. But say we have this scene and it takes 2 to 3 minutes to get through it. And during that process, these lights were doing this, these props got shot, the window breaks, person goes like slamming through, all this action. So then there's this reset, and then you got to do that again. So yes, like even though it's an endless, technically like infinite, whatever, you still have a finite time to your day that before you know it, like, shit, we got to move, or we're going to have to scrap that shot. And if we scrap that shot, we're blowing the shit out of our script and our storyline, and we're going to have a problem in the edit bay.
Well, what's interesting about that, what you're saying is that's where somebody who's in charge of continuity that's good will save the director's ass. Like a good script supervisor is worth their weight in gold.
Well, a good script soupy, but also like a good first AD.
I'm talking about keeping track of what action occurred in a shot, or
continuity,
or what somebody was wearing, or how somebody moved, and the audience watching this now may have seen, may know of things where continuity was messed up, right?
Yeah,
and that's squarely on the shoulders of the script supervisor in terms of responsibility, right? The script supervisor is responsible for
the heavy part, yeah,
right. So,
but an AD drives, and an AD will check that schedule and like, hey, I know you want to go for take number 12. But we're already 30 minutes behind.
And also in a big scene where you have multiple extras, like when I was shooting that rugby scene that I described, you had to have an AD.
One of the things I wanted to talk about at some point, whether it be this episode or some other one, man, I was listening to some Cody Jinks in my car on the way up here tonight. And it was just, I think it was a Sober Thing, which was the song, but it just, like that journey, man, and like how tough it can be. And like, I don't, whether we do it now or not, but like James Wan, man, for Saul, he was like sleeping in his best friend's like living room, I think, with his girlfriend during the year that he was making Saul.
Wow.
Dances with Wolves, the writer, stayed on Kevin Costner's place, like sleeping on his couch.
Yeah, well, that was a college friend of his, I think.
So it's a hard ass process.
He said he had something Kevin Costner might like, and
then Kevin Costner went off to like, yeah, I've got this Western, and everybody kind of balked at him, like, you're dumb. And then Dances with Wolves happens.
That was one of my favorite movies. I love that movie.
No, it's ballsy as hell. It's beautiful. So, but that would be a cool, like, I don't know, the filmmaking process from the indie level, like the make and break of.
The different stories that come out of it and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I agree. I think
it is a hard process because it's a full-time job.
Right.
Like if you have another career going on, it just means that much longer until you're getting your film done, because a film will consume every moment of your life in that year leading up to getting the film done. Like,
unless you're an actor.
I'm talking about from the directing level.
Yeah.
Like,
unless you're an actor, then it's like, see it.
Like, have fun. Hey, you have
good luck, boys.
Do you have any footage of that available yet? I'm like, I'm trying.
I want to add that to my reel.
Like, I don't have money to pay my bills.
I'm actually looking to pay my bills right now. So
I'm like, times are tough.
No, but I
that's
think
a big story though.
What is?
Just that life.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And it's the
struggle.
It's a make and break. It's like
I know guys who and ladies who didn't give themselves a plan B, right? Just said, this is what I'm doing. This is what you do
I mean, there is like
You know,
you get to a certain
until
point
you get
that-
replaced by AI like the rest of us. Until you know, and
that you created.
somebody could, that I that I
Good
created.
going, Lynn Pena.
Thanks, Amazon. No, but
No, I meant the one streaming service to,
Oh,
rule them all.
yeah, because that streaming service will be
Dun, dun,
it'll
dun,
be
dun,
AI driven, and it'll say, "What movie would you like to see today?" I like to see a movie where Abraham Lincoln fights dinosaurs, and then some
We were
AI
talking
creates
about
it.
that, yeah. And then so you're never really exploring. You're only looking for what you want to look at, and you're not really pushing your mind outside of that realm, other than what just interests you directly.
Yeah, I mean,
So there's no stimulation. You're just swimming in your member berries and what you like.
you could be, yeah, or
Which I guess you
you
could.
you could purposefully say, "Hey, stretch my boundaries with the AI," right? You could
Fair
tell
enough.
it.
But we
It's
get-
only going to do what you tell it to
But
do.
we get lazy though.
I don't know. But the point is,
Wall-E, baby. Wall-E.
the point is, recently, and I can get you a clip of this video, but recently, a company has come out with a demo video of a video that works off of descriptive text. So basically, if you write a description of the scene, and then the AI creates the video with all the actors and everything. And there was a demo of this last week,
I don't like that.
and it's.
I just don't like that.
Here's the thing about it, though, it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It actually looks really amazing.
It looks, but does it feel amazing?
Yeah.
Like, does it have the real human connection?
No,
Like,
that's what I'm
Was
telling
that the
you.
proper take? Like, could we go a
No,
little
that's
bit
the
further
thing.
with it?
No takes, just AI. Boom,
That's-
gives it to you right
See,
as
that
you wrote
shit-
it.
That shit's garbage to me, dude. Like, you can't, the human emotion, like in the moment, there is no AI that'll touch that. Maybe in like 50 years or something in my mind.
No, I
but
don't
like,
disagree with that.
Right.
Like no AI is going to be Coppola, right? Or Spielberg. You've got, this AI that is only going to get better,
Yeah.
and it's really fascinating. But the one thing about that video that was interesting, all the extras in the scene, all the other people in the city scene, all their feet are backwards.
F you, AI.
They're pointing the wrong direction.
F you, AI. Go to film school, you jerk.
But that's a damn sight better than the crazy. Did you ever see that crazy ass Bud Light commercial that somebody said, "I want a Bud Light commercial"?
And they had
that's-
like 8 fingers.
yeah, and they said that takes place at a barbecue, and like everybody's on fire, and like they're drinking from a Bud Light can, and the Bud Light can is like stretching, and they're going,
I have seen
they're
that.
doing all the crazy crap.
I have seen that, and they should watch that.
That was
too.
frightening.
They should watch that. Too.
Well, you can throw that up.
I'm going to right now.
So that's AI, right? That was AI a year ago, and compare that to the clip that I described earlier that just works off of descriptive language.
Okay, like, and you see that one like Will Smith eating spaghetti, right? Like where his face is all distorted and it's messed up.
Mm-hmm.
The scary part is even 5 years from now, well, they'll be at and like.
Oh,
I
it'll-
get that it's easy and it's nice and it's fun, and I use a little bit of AI when it comes to like Photoshop or building like pitch decks, because it's like, okay, I need to take this image and I need to extend the sky and the ground in order to get to this aspect ratio, right? This pixel rate. But in order for it to take over the creative part is just insane to me. But to lose that connection between a director and an actor, that real human connection where it's not just ones and zeros, like it's a balancing act. It's like what Guillermo and I call it, like the dance, like in boxing. And you're sparring, you're touching,
No, that is what it is.
you're working it through.
No, it is a dance because like a good director with a good actor who work well together, it's like magic.
You
like,
feel the
like
moment.
DiCaprio with Scorsese.
You feel the moment. Like when I'm on a scene, like when I'm directing a set, I don't like to be behind like Video Village. I'm hard of hearing, but I like to be as close to the camera. Like a lot of times, man, I'm like sitting right behind the camera, just watching the vibe because I want to be right there with them,
Right.
in the moment. And when they nail it, I mean, I wish I had the video like B-roll of that, but like I remember on the last film, they hit a moment, dude. It was just magic because you're watching it, you're feeling it, you are in there with them, you are connected, And I remember just jumping up and like, yeah, boom, nailed it, man. Like, hallelujah, happy, and we're moving on. But there's that synergy behind that. But so like, I don't know. It's like, what's AI going to bring that can compare to raw human emotion and energy and feelings and the moment?
Well, I don't disagree with what you're saying.
moment.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
No, I know.
I just feel like people are lazy,
Extreme.
and there will be a subset of people who are not thoughtful, who love this, and we'll just
'Cause it's easy.
we'll just love it, and they'll be like, oh, I can make a movie now, and that's going to happen. I mean, but the thing is
I guess all mediums change.
okay. Here's what I would say. I think it's interesting because like. Even me, I feel like I'm a smart guy. I'm kind of in the know on this stuff, and I follow it because I'm kind of a nerd and all that stuff, and I work in that industry. But I still don't even. I think there's stuff that's going to happen that we cannot even conceive of. I'll give you an example of something that is possible that would blow your mind. When cars become autonomous and are able to drive themselves. And cars become a service like cable TV.
Like Demolition Man.
Like, no, because they still drove in Demolition Man.
If they wanted to.
No, they did.
No, they could override it and then.
Oh, yeah, but that's an override. Anyways, going back to what I'm saying. When cars can drive themselves, they'll be connected to an AI that can orchestrate the entire movement of all the cars in a grid. All the cars in a 100-mile area know, like an AI would know everything about where they are and where they are in conjunction with each other, and they would never hit each other. You know what I mean? Like these are the kind of things that are just insane.
Yeah, but there's just so much things that can go wrong. Like, okay, so if you give the people that kind of power, where they can do like, F all in the car or whatever while they're waiting for their car ride. Like, say they're like, oh, well, I mean, I got this hour drive. Like, I'm going to just, do a whole bunch of coke.
Wait, who? The
driver.
But AI doesn't do coke.
No, the human driver that's in the little transport taxi at this point, right?
But why would it be possible for them to take control of the taxi?
No. Okay, so they're in their car. There's self-driving autonomous car.
Oh, you mean mixed on the road
Right.
with...
And they got to go an hour away. They're like, well, we're just hanging out. Like, well, we got this baggie of cocaine.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And?
say they get in the car.
By the way, I think this will be in a movie someday.
I'm going to write it, actually.
Yeah.
So they're right in their autonomous car, and they're blowing through a whole bag of coke in the OD.
Yeah. So then the car arrives at the destination.
And it's parked.
And you got dead people with cocaine everywhere on the interior of the car.
So then you're backing up traffic, and you got these other cars that are trying to figure out what's up.
No,
but they
these
can't
are
go
things,
anywhere.
And then on the 5 o'clock news, it'll be an autonomous car was found at Pizza Hut at 4 p.m. today.
With a dead owner with
two
half
dead
a pound of cocaine.
two dead people and 140 grams of cocaine.
And really shitty traffic. News at 11.
I mean, think about it. That'll happen.
Right. Because
But is that any different than today?
I mean,
Like people doing stupid crap and dying? I mean, it'll just be less.
I guess. All right, where are we at? How long have we been online?
It's almost an hour.
Let's go a little bit further.
Yeah, I just
if
don't.
we hit, like,
we
20.
were going to talk about. We wanted to talk about indie film in Texas. We got sidetracked again. So we know. I think you were telling me that Texas had recently, upped the tax benefits and the other things for
The film incentives.
some of the film incentives for production to happen here in Texas, right?
I mean, since we're going kind of like hand grenades and horseshoes, I don't have like the exact number.
We're not looking for exact
front of me.
numbers. We don't operate with exact numbers
We
here.
don't need no stinking exact nothing.
No.
I know.
Nobody needs to know exactly how this works. Okay, we just need to talk. We don't need to talk about details. Anyway,
Not in this place. So for like Texas, it's a minimum budget of like $250,000. But years ago, Texas was pretty rocking on their incentives. Like, during the whole stage, they had like Walker in here. There was Chase. Had a lot of TV shows happening.
I mean, you remember the studios at Las Colinas was a big
Yeah.
thing. Now it's Glenn Beck Studios, right? He bought the whole damn thing, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked up that in a while, like where that, whatever. I remember like doing like acting lessons out there, and I wasn't really connected with Las Colinas at that point. But we had things stumping, and then it went away. And so at that same time, it's like, oh, we don't need that. So then Louisiana picks up, New Mexico's picking up, and then Georgia's picking up, and you have like The Walking Dead on that. And then Texas just kind of gets left behind because there's no incentives. And like when you're coming from the film production side of it, you're looking at every chance, like, how do I shave the dollar, make it through budget, and pay my investors back? And so if you have to choose between this state that has no incentives or town or whatever versus this state or city that like has rebates or incentives, you kind of like, okay, like that would be really great to shoot there.
Right.
But that doesn't do nothing for me. I can pretty much get the same thing I wanted, but I know I'm getting 25 to 35% back of my operating budget of the money that I spent in that state. And I can deliver that back to my investors after the point. And because it always takes time, like any good business, right? What do they say for small businesses? Like 5 years in order for it to really come back with a return.
Yeah, there's always a time period. It
Right.
takes time for anything to be successful.
And on the indie, it's a few years compared to 5. So it's actually still a better like return time window, in my opinion. But with the incentives, if you can come back and offer up 35%, 25%, I don't know what Texas is. I think it's lower, but still, it's like resources here for my regard because I'm here, like there's things we can pull from. If that makes sense in order to get a little bit of cash, to fling that back to the investors to make them a little bit happy so they're not like, hey, do we see any money at any point?
Right.
Or is it going to take like multiple whatever to get that? So that's kind of hot to trot, man. And there's been a lot of actors kind of pushing for that, from like Dennis Quaid to several big name actors. They're just like, hey, let's come to Texas.
Well, I'm old enough to remember when Texas was called the Third Coast, right? It was LA, New York, and Texas was really where things happened. And when those film incentives went away, the productions went away.
It was stupid. Video game development and everything. But I mean, we're building, and could be wrong on this, and you forgive me for that, but like, I want to say it's like 3 bigger studios coming in, like multi-million dollar facilities.
Really?
Compared to the ones that have already been built, even on the indie, not completely indie level, because like The Chosen has like their Capernaum lot in Midlothian.
Right.
And then there's like Capernaum Studios outside of Weatherford. There's ones, I forget their names. It's in Dallas, like South something.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I know Capernaum. But I mean, I don't know, man. I really used to dream of having of like if I hit the lottery, I would work to build a studio in downtown Dallas.
I would too. It'd be like a Willie's Ranch.
No, I mean I would build a legit back lot with everything.
I would too.
And then have tours and everything. And
Just like Willie's Ranch, though.
What's Willie's Ranch?
Like Willie Nelson. Like he's got his ranch out there, and they make music, but we can make a film. And
So you're saying you want to smoke weed? Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, film people. I mean, you know what the ratio is? If you had a drug test a film crew,
Oh no,
you'd
that's
have no
a terrible
film crew.
idea.
You'd have no film crew.
Yeah, that'd be a terrible idea.
The director's probably gone too.
I mean, just creative people in general.
He's gone. You're stuck with a bunch of accountants.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Look, super. We had the legal department and we had the accounting department, but everybody else is gone. Nobody on camera. Definitely nobody in the grip department or makeup or catering, wardrobe.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Special effects.
it is a
Visual
thing.
effects.
It is a thing. It is a thing. But I do think that the future of indie film is bright. I do think that there are a lot of opportunities. I think that what I would like to do as a part of this show as we move forward is explore what that really means by through interviewing guests and talking to them about like what does somebody do now in order to sort of have that breakthrough.
I would like that. I mean, to kind of go through that process and like how to navigate it.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be groovy. And then like when I even get onto my next one, because at that point I'll probably be here and there, but
You're going to be talking to a guest. You're going to be going,
you're going to have
so what do I do now?
You're going to have
what
guests,
do I do?
You'll have a guest on here working with you, but then maybe we hit me from set, and then I can get BTS and like show the behind the scenes aspect.
Yeah.
So
There's all kinds of stuff coming. I mean, but I'm excited to interview, for now anyway, local folks who, have experience and are working in the industry, making a living, doing this thing, right? Not people who everybody knows who they are or superstars or because that's not honestly when you talk about film and television and the work, right? That's not who drives this thing.
no, it's not the real people that like.
They're real people, but they're not.
But it's the ones that turn the wrenches and like really
Right.
do the small, not small, everything's big, but like they do the fine detail work that bring it all together.
Yeah, the people who do all the work. Well, that's a bad way to put it. The people who, the bulk of the people who are involved.
They do the bulk of the work.
All right, well, look, I think that's about the end of this. We're going to just have to move on and wait till next week to talk about anything else.
It was a good episode.
I mean, I had fun talking.
Personally, so I was gonna we're gonna call it hand grenades and horseshoes
Yeah.
because it was really kind of like a mild plan going in,
Yeah.
or I was gonna try to bring up Thunderdome and do apocalyptic.
Yeah, you came in the house singing.
We don't need.
Yeah.
another-
The Tina Turner
yeah.
from Thunderdome. Yeah.
Amazing,
Well, we can
amazing legs.
We can talk about maybe talk about dystopian movies next time. That'd
You
be
like
fun.
that idea?
Maybe that's a good idea. I don't know.
So
Matter of fact, maybe I'll do a poll that says, "What would you like to hear us talk about next?"
we should do that to see what these clowns like.
Yeah,
So
I like that idea.
Sure.
Well, anyway,
Is that it?
yeah, let's go get another drink.
Awesome. Oh man, I think you did pretty good.
You think I did pretty good?
Yeah, you're a great champ.
Well, thank you.
I think,